The courtroom froze the moment she said it. Karen leaned back in the witness chair, chin high, sunglasses still on indoors, and hissed, "You can't touch me." The crowd murmured. The bailiff shifted. Judge Judy didn't blink. A slow, razor-thin smile cut across the judge's face as she tapped her pen once, just once, against the bench. Because she knew something Karen didn't. And in exactly 3 minutes, the entire room would know it too. What happened next shocked everyone. The last syllable of "you can't touch me" still vibrates through the courtroom like a struck wire. Judge Judy doesn't move. The gallery doesn't breathe. Even the fluorescent lights seem to pause, waiting for impact. The silence feels heavy enough to bend metal. Karen sits there, legs crossed, arms folded, sunglasses still perched on her nose as if she's on a beach and not in front of a judge who's dismantled bigger egos before breakfast. Her confidence is thick, artificial, like perfume sprayed too generously. Judge Judy finally lifts her gaze. Not fast, not dramatic. Just slow enough to signal that she's choosing her moment. The camera of the imagination could catch every tiny shift. The narrowing eyes, the tension smoothing across her jaw. She taps her pen once, one crisp, cold click that slices the air sharper than any gavel. "Good," Judge Judy murmurs. "Let's start." The gallery stirs. Mia, the plaintiff, straightens in her seat. She's visibly nervous, fingers laced together, thumb brushing the side of her palm like she's grounding herself. Her quiet presence is a stark contrast to Karen's theatrical bravado. Karen," Judge Judy begins, voice calm but threaded with iron, "you're being sued for harassment, emotional distress, and issuing fraudulent HOA violations. Do you understand that?" Karen snorts, actually snorts. "I understand that this is ridiculous. I was trying to maintain order in my community. Some people," she glances meaningfully at Mia, "don't appreciate structure." Mia flinches but holds her composure. "Your Honor," she says gently, "she doesn't even have the authority to run an HOA. There isn't one." Judge Judy's head tilts, like a hawk catching movement in the grass. "Is that true?" Karen waves a hand. "Technicalities. The neighborhood needed guidance. I stepped up." "Stepped up," Judy echoes. "Is that what we're calling falsifying documents now?" Karen leans back, crossing her arms tighter. "Look, I was just trying to help. And, honestly, she's exaggerating. Nobody was harmed." Mia's breath shakes. "She fined me for having my trash bin out for 20 minutes, for hanging a fall wreath, for parking in my own driveway." Karen shrugs as if the matters are trivial. "Rules are rules." "Rules," Judy repeats, letting the word roll slowly, "require authority, and you had none." Karen's lips twitch, but she holds her pose. "Well," she says lightly, "you still can't touch me." The arrogance is suffocating. The gallery murmurs again, agitated, incredulous. The bailiff shifts his stance, subtly bracing for a storm. Judge Judy opens a folder. The rustle alone feels like judgment. Inside is a stack of papers, neat, organized, deadly. She holds up the first sheet so only Karen can see. "Karen," she says quietly, "did you really think we wouldn't find this?" Karen's smirk falters, but only for a second. Then it snaps back, brittle as glass. "What is that?" she challenges. Judge Judy allows a slow, knowing smile. "Oh, we'll get there." She places the document on the bench with deliberate care. "And trust me," she adds, leaning in just enough to make Karen swallow, "you're about to wish I couldn't touch you." Judge Judy taps the paper once. "Bailiff," she says, voice low but razor sharp, "bring in the photographs." Karen's sunglasses suddenly feel like a shield, one that's about to shatter. Karen's smirk clings to her face like wet paint, but the moment Judge Judy lifts the document, that smirk starts to crack around the edges. The paper hovers between them, suspended in the charged air. A printed cease and desist letter, clean font, official letterhead, everything Karen pretended to possess. But there's one detail she didn't anticipate: the tracking number. Judge Judy taps it once with her fingernail, the sound like a tiny hammer striking Karen's confidence. "This," Judy says, "was sent to you directly, 2 months ago." Karen blinks behind her sunglasses. "I get lots of mail. I can't possibly keep track of every little." "Little?" Judy leans forward. "This letter told you, explicitly, that you had no legal authority to issue citations, fines, or warnings. It told you to stop all enforcement activity immediately." Karen's voice hardens. Anyone can write a letter, Judge. Not, Judy replies. The county clerk's office. The gallery murmurs. Mia's hands tighten in her lap. Hope flickers in her expression like a candle fighting for air. Judy slides the letter toward Karen. The camera in our minds catches the precise moment Karen's jaw tenses. Did you ignore this? Judy asks. Or did you pretend it didn't exist? Karen forces a scoff. I thought it was overblown. Bureaucrats get dramatic. I was helping the neighborhood. That's not a crime. No one said anything about crime. Judy's voice drops to a chilling calm. But civil harassment, fraudulent representation, those are absolutely on the table. Karen shifts, tiny, barely noticeable, but unmistakable. A hairline fracture in her iron facade. Mia clears her throat. Your Honor, after she got that letter, she escalated. How? Judy asks without looking away from Karen. She started leaving warnings on my door every other day, claimed I was violating seasonal decoration policies. She took pictures of my yard at dawn. She even knocked on my window one night to tell me my porch light was too bright. Karen snaps. It was too bright. It shined directly into the street. So you trespassed? Judy interrupts. Silence. Heavy. Damning. The judge's gaze sharpens. Karen, did you or did you not enter Mia's property without permission? Karen shifts again. I merely inspected. It was for safety, community guidelines. There are no community guidelines, Mia whispers, pain threading through her voice. She made them up. Judge Judy sits back, studying Karen like a puzzle missing its last incriminating piece. Ms. Karen, you've been operating under the assumption that you can create rules, enforce rules, and bend reality to fit those rules. That ends today. Karen's smile, what's left of it, falters. The paper lies in front of her like a bomb with the pin already pulled. Judy folds her hands. Bailiff, she says, her tone turning surgical, bring in the photographs. The door at the side of the courtroom opens. Karen's breath catches. Barely, but enough, because she knows exactly what photos are coming, and she knows they cannot be explained away. The bailiff steps forward with a manila envelope so thick it bows at the center. Karen's posture stiffens, her sunglasses no longer an accessory, but a shield she desperately clings to. The envelope lands on Judge Judy's desk with a soft thud, but the sound carries like a drumbeat. The judge's fingers glide across the seal before she opens it, slow and deliberate, as if she's unveiling a truth Karen has spent months burying. One photograph slides out, then another, then another. The courtroom leans forward as Judge Judy fans them across the bench like a dealer, exposing a winning hand. The first image hits Karen like a slap. Her, standing on Mia's front lawn, clipboard in hand, inspecting Mia's window frame with a tape measure. It's 6:12 a.m. The timestamp glows in the corner. Mia's voice cracks. That's the morning I found her staring through my kitchen window. Karen's jaw tightens. I was checking the siding. It looked warped. Judy lifts a brow. At 6 a.m, Karen opens her mouth, but no sound emerges. Another photo. Karen placing a bright orange violation notice on Mia's mailbox, on the inside, where only postal workers have access. The courtroom murmurs in disbelief. That's a federal box, Judge Judy says flatly. Opening it is a federal offense. Karen stammers. I didn't open it. I just slid the paper inside the door, Judy finishes, which requires opening it. The next photo's worse. Karen crouched beside Mia's trash can, lifting the lid and snapping a picture with her phone. The timestamp reveals it was taken during a rainstorm. Water streaks down the frame, blurring Karen's determined face. Mia swallows hard. I told her I had company over and forgot the bin for 20 minutes. She said it was unacceptable and that she had photographic proof of my habitual negligence. Judy flips the photo. The back reads, in Karen's handwriting, trash left out, possible rodents. Karen lunges forward. That's personal. Why do you have that? Because, Judy says calmly, Mia filed it as evidence of harassment. Karen's composure frays. Her leg bounces beneath the table, a telltale tremor she can't disguise. Then comes the final photo, the most damning of all. Karen is standing on a ladder leaning against Mia's house, peering inside Mia's bedroom window. The courtroom gasps. Judge Judy's voice drops to a lethal whisper. Explain this. Karen's lips part, but no sound comes out. Her sunglasses hide her eyes, but her entire face betrays panic. Mia squeezes her hands together. That was the night my daughter woke up screaming because she saw a shadow at the window. The silence that follows is suffocating. Even the bailiff looks shaken. Karen finally croaks, I dropped something. I was retrieving it. Judy's laughter is a single breath, cold, sharp, disbelieving. From the second-floor window, Karen folds inward, the bravado draining out of her like water through a crack. Judge Judy gathers the photos, tapping them into a neat stack, the sound like a countdown. Ms. Karen, she says, voice steady and lethal, trespassing, surveillance, property interference. This is not community leadership, it's obsession. Karen whispers, she deserved it. The room explodes, gasps disbelief, outrage. Judge Judy slams her hand against the bench, not a gavel, just pure force. Order! I want the next witness brought in, now! Karen's breath hitches, because she knows exactly who that witness is. The echo of Judge Judy's palm slamming the bench still ripples through the room when the side door opens. Karen flinches, just a twitch, but enough for Judy to see the first real fissure forming. The courtroom holds its breath as the next witness steps inside, a neighbor, Mr. Alvarez, nervous, polite, mid-50s. He clutches a folder against his chest like a shield. His eyes flick from Mia to Karen before settling cautiously on Judge Judy. State your name, Judy instructs. Carlos Alvarez, ma'am. And your relationship to the defendant? Karen hisses. He barely knows me. Judy raises one finger. Silence falls immediately. Mr. Alvarez clears his throat. I live 2 houses down. I've seen things. Karen scoffs loudly. He's making this up because I told him his lawn decorations were tacky. The gallery chuckles. Judy does not. Mr. Alvarez, Judy says, tell me what you witnessed. He opens the folder with trembling hands. I took notes, dates, times. He reveals a small logbook, pages filled with neat handwriting. Karen's face drains of color. Mr. Alvarez reads, March 18th, Karen pacing in front of Mia's house for 30 minutes, talking to herself. March 21st, Karen placing a notice on Mia's door at 11:47 p.m. April 2nd, Karen photographing Mia's backyard from behind my fence. Judy's eyes narrow. Behind your fence? Karen blurts. He told me I could be there. Mr. Alvarez shakes his head quickly. No, ma'am, I didn't. In fact, when I confronted her, she said she was acting on official business. Judy leans back, folding her arms. Official business, she echoes. Ms. Karen, would you like to explain what official capacity granted you access to your neighbor's property at midnight? Karen tries to speak, but the words jam in her throat. She adjusts her sunglasses, fingers trembling. Judy presses. Do you hold a position with the city? A code enforcement role? Any recognized authority whatsoever? Karen stares straight ahead. I oversee community standards. Which community? My street. Judy stares, unimpressed. Mr. Alvarez clears his throat again. There's more. He pulls out a glossy sheet, a forged HOA violation notice with letterhead copied from an online template. This was left on multiple doors, he explains. But there is no HOA. Judy lifts the paper between her fingers. Ms. Karen, this document contains legal terminology, references to non-existent bylaws, and a signature. Her gaze sharpens like a blade. Do you recognize it? Karen swallows. Her facade, so carefully crafted, begins to crumble. The crack widens. This is a misunderstanding, she whispers. A misunderstanding? Judy's voice sharpens. You forged an enforcement notice. That's not misunderstanding. That's fraud. Karen shakes her head, her voice rising. I didn't forge anything. I didn't sign that. Judy holds the paper up. Then whose signature is this? Karen hesitates. For the first time, her silence is not defiance, but fear. The courtroom senses it. The air tightens. Ms. Karen, Judy repeats, look closely. Karen's chest rises and falls too fast. Her sunglasses slip slightly, revealing eyes wide with realization. Judge Judy lowers her voice, each word hitting with precision. Karen, this signature belongs to someone in your home. Now tell me, why is your husband's name on a forged HOA notice? Karen's breath stutters as Judge Judy's words hang in the air like a dropped match. Her husband's name. on a forged notice. The courtroom tilts, not physically, but emotionally, as Karen's certainty finally buckles. For the first time since she walked into the courtroom, Karen removes her sunglasses, not dramatically, not defiantly. She just lowers them, as if her hands move on their own. Her eyes are red, not from crying, but from pressure, from holding something in far too long. Judge Judy watches her with unnerving stillness. "Ms. Karen," she says, "this signature belongs to your husband, Greg. Do you deny that?" Karen stares at the paper as though it is alive, growing teeth, lunging at her. Her lips tremble. "I don't know how that got there." "Let's try again," Judy says, voice softening just enough to slip under Karen's defenses. "Did your husband sign this?" The silence answers before she can. Karen shakes her head. He wouldn't." Judy leans forward. "Wouldn't? Or didn't?" Karen's hands twist together. "Greg doesn't involve himself. He never wanted to be part of the committee." "What committee?" Judy asks sharply. "There is no committee." Karen winces. "The committee I built. The one that should have existed. If people followed the rules that you made up," Judy snaps. The courtroom hums, this mixture of dread, shock, and something else. Curiosity. The sense that they're no longer looking at a villain, but a woman cracking along fault lines she pretended didn't exist. Mia watches with gentle wariness, unsure whether she's seeing manipulation or collapse. Judy taps the notice. "This signature alone tells me one thing. Either your husband assisted you, or you forged his name without his knowledge. Which is it?" A strangled sound escapes Karen's throat. She presses her fingers to her temple. "He didn't help. He wouldn't help. He said I needed to let things go. He said I was too intense." "And you disagreed," Judy says dryly. Karen's shoulders quake. Someone had to step up. The neighborhood was chaotic. Trash cans left out, kids drawing chalk on sidewalks, people ignoring holiday guidelines. There was no order, no respect. No one listened to me. She looks up, eyes burning with something far older than this case. But he never listened either. The room shifts. This is no longer about Mia or the neighborhood. This is about a marriage cracking long before a notice appeared on a door. Judy softens. Just a hint. "Did Greg know you were doing all this?" Karen shakes her head violently. "No, he didn't want to get involved. We were barely speaking by then. He said I was making enemies out of thin air." "And the signature?" Judy presses. Karen's voice shrinks into a whisper. "I thought, if his name was on it, people would take me seriously." The gallery exhales, one collective, stunned breath. Judy sets the paper down gently, like she's placing a fragile truth on the table. "Ms. Karen, forging your husband's name isn't power. It's desperation." Karen swallows hard, her throat moving like each word she's holding back weighs a pound. "He wasn't supposed to know," she whispers. "No one was." Judy sits back, eyes sharpening. "Well, he does now." A knock at the courtroom door interrupts the tension. The bailiff steps forward. "Your Honor, Greg is here." Karen's entire body freezes, because her husband isn't supposed to be part of this, and now he's walking through that door. The door creaks open, and every head turns. Karen's spine stiffens, her fingers lock together so tightly her knuckles bleach white, because the man stepping inside isn't just a witness, he's the one person she can't control. Greg walks in with the weight of someone who hasn't slept in days. His posture isn't confrontational, just tired. A man worn down to the threads. His eyes flick to Karen for the briefest moment. She looks away instantly, like the glance was too bright to withstand. The bailiff guides him to the stand. As he's sworn in, the courtroom watches two worlds quietly collide. Judge Judy folds her hands. "State your name." "Gregory Stanton," he says, voice steady but low. "And you are the defendant's husband?" A pause, almost imperceptible. "Yes." Karen flinches at the hesitation. Judy doesn't miss it. "Mr. Stanton," she says, "the court has learned your signature appears on several falsified HOA notices. Did you sign these documents?" Greg doesn't even look at them. "No, Your Honor. I've never seen those before today." The words fall like stones. Karen's lips part. "Greg, I can explain." He shakes his head, cutting her off with heartbreaking gentleness. Karen, please. It's not anger that stops her. It's the softness. The softness she hasn't heard from him in years. Judy narrows her eyes. Mr. Stanton, were you aware that your wife was asserting authority she didn't have? Greg exhales, long and heavy. I knew she was struggling, but I didn't know how bad it had gotten. I tried to step back so things wouldn't escalate. Karen jerks up. You stepped back from everything, from me, from our home, from our marriage. Her voice reverberates across the room, raw, jagged. Greg's expression breaks in real time. Karen, I stepped back because every time I tried to talk to you, you told me I didn't understand, that I wasn't supporting your leadership. Karen swallows, blinking away a rising gloss in her eyes. I just wanted order. Respect. You wanted control, Greg says softly. And when you lost it at home, you grabbed it wherever you could. The words hit her harder than anything Judge Judy has said. She folds in on herself, just slightly. Mia watches, empathy flickering despite everything. The gallery murmurs, this isn't just a lawsuit anymore. It's a life slipping through someone's fingers. Judge Judy leans forward, voice soft but firm. Mr. Stanton, why did you come today? Greg clears his throat, steadying himself. Because she needs help. Real help. And because someone told me Karen might finally listen if she heard everything laid out. Karen stiffens. Someone told you? Greg nods. Yes, someone close. Karen's eyes narrow, confused. Judy studies Greg's face carefully. Mr. Stanton, you said your wife was struggling. In what way? He hesitates, looking directly at Karen. She became obsessed, Your Honor. Obsessed with the idea that the neighborhood saw her as irrelevant, that people were laughing behind her back. She started patrolling at night, keeping binders, recording everything. She wasn't sleeping. She wasn't eating. She was drowning. Karen's breath hitches, a gasp pulled from a place even she didn't expect to reveal. Judy nods slowly. Thank you, Mr. Stanton. She turns her gaze to Karen, piercing and unreadable. Ms. Karen, she says, your husband came today because he believes you're in deeper trouble than you're willing to admit. Karen opens her mouth, then closes it again. Emotion swells behind her eyes, but she cages it with stubborn pride. Then, in a trembling whisper, she says, You don't understand what she did. Judy freezes. Who? Karen points. Her finger shakes, toward Mia. Karen's voice cracks as she delivers the accusation. She ruined everything, and I can prove it. Tell me in the comments, at this moment, do you think Karen is unraveling or finally telling the truth? Karen's trembling finger hangs suspended in the air, pointed straight at Mia. The courtroom falls into a vacuum of silence so complete that even the fluorescent lights seem to dim with anticipation. Mia blinks, startled. Me? She whispers, barely audible. Karen nods, jerky, frantic. Yes, tell them what you did. Judge Judy tilts her head, unimpressed but curious. Ms. Karen, you are walking on very thin ice. If you're about to fabricate another claim... I'm not lying, Karen snaps, her voice trembling between rage and desperation. She humiliated me. She pushed me into all this. Mia's brows knit in confusion. What are you talking about? Karen rises halfway from her seat. The bailiff steps forward. She freezes, realizing just how precariously she's moving. Her voice falls to a hoarse whisper. That day, the day everything changed. Mia's face softens with dawning recognition, but not of guilt, of fear. She already senses Karen is rewriting history. Judge Judy gestures calmly. You will explain, and you will do it clearly. Karen inhales shakily. I asked her to join the community committee. I was starting something new, something important. It was the beginning of a neighborhood system, structure, a way to... Mia interrupts, voice strained but controlled. There is no community committee, Your Honor. She made it up. Karen slams her hand on the table, because no one would join, not after what she did. Judy's eyebrow lifts, a warning arch. What exactly did she do? Karen stares at Mia with wounded fury. She laughed at me, in front of people. She told me I wasn't leader material. She said nobody took me seriously. Mia shakes her head. That's not what happened. Yes, it is, Karen cries. It broke something. You don't understand. People have dismissed me my entire life. I finally try to step up, try to create something, and she made me feel Invisible. For the first time, Mia responds not with anger, but with sadness. Karen, she says softly, I didn't laugh at you. I swear. I told you I couldn't join because I have 2 jobs. You accused me of disrespecting you, and when I tried to walk away, you yelled at me. Karen's lips tremble, warping into a frown that can't decide if it's rage or grief. Judge Judy glances between them. Ms. Mia, can you support your version of events? Mia nods. Yes, I have video. Karen recoils, eyes widening. You filmed me? No, Mia answers. Someone else did. I received it anonymously. The gallery murmurs. Greg subtly straightens, and Karen's expression fractures, confusion, then dread. Anonymous? She echoes. Mia nods again. It shows everything that happened. Karen shakes her head violently. No, it doesn't. It can't. Nobody else was there. Her voice fades as realization dawns across her face. Judy watches, razor sharp. Ms. Karen, why do you look like you suddenly know exactly who recorded it? Karen tries to speak, but her throat locks. Judy points to the bailiff. Bring the video. Karen stumbles back into her seat as if the floor shifted under her. No, she whispers. Please, not that. The monitor flickers to life, freezing on the first frame of the recording, and standing behind Karen in the shot is a familiar silhouette. The monitor hums to life, casting a cold electronic glow across the courtroom. Karen freezes, stone still, because she knows exactly what's about to play, or rather, who's about to appear. The first frame is grainy, shaky, someone hiding the camera while filming, a sidewalk, a bit of overgrown lawn. Then, the lens tilts upward, capturing Karen standing rigidly in front of Mia, hands flailing in frustration. The audio crackles. Karen's voice is unmistakable. I'm offering you a chance to be part of something important. Why can't you appreciate that? Mia's reply is calm, exhausted. Karen, I already explained. I don't have the time. Karen snaps back. You just don't think I can lead, do you? The gallery murmurs. Judy's eyes stay fixed on every detail, absorbing the tone, the pacing, the posture. But it's not Karen in the frame that holds everyone's attention. It's the blurry outline behind her. A small figure. Half visible, holding a phone. Judy lifts a hand. Pause. The frame freezes, jittering slightly. The silhouette stands several feet behind Karen, close enough to record, far enough not to be noticed. Karen's breath shudders. No. Judy narrows her eyes. That's not Mia. That's not Mr. Alvarez. That's not a bystander. She leans closer to the screen, voice level and unnervingly calm. That's a child. Karen closes her eyes as if she can undo the moment by sheer force. Greg inhales sharply. Oh, God, Judy glances at him. Mr. Stanton, do you recognize the person in this frame? Greg nods slowly, heartbreak etched across his face. Yes, that's Lily. Karen whips her head toward him, panic shredding through her composure. Greg, please, don't say her name. Judy turns back to Karen, her voice cutting through the room like a scalpel. Ms. Karen, your daughter recorded this footage. Karen crumbles into her seat. The sunglasses she'd clung to earlier now sit forgotten on the table. She looks smaller than she has in any previous moment, like the truth has physically compressed her. The video unfreezes, continuing to play without mercy. Karen's voice rises, brittle and sharp in the recording. If people don't follow the rules, then someone has to make them. Mia backs away. Karen, this is too much. You need to calm down. Karen steps forward, jabbing a finger. Don't tell me to calm down. I am restoring order. If you won't help me, you're the problem. Behind her, the little silhouette flinches. Judy sees it. Everyone sees it. The camera shakes, not from movement, but from fear. The footage catches Karen storming off in a fury, muttering about weak neighbors and ungrateful idiots. Then, the camera lowers, revealing Lily's face for the first time, a girl on the edge of tears, whispering into the mic. Mom, please stop. Karen's hand flies to her mouth, stifling a sob she didn't know she'd release. The screen fades to black. Silence. The kind that cuts. Judge Judy breaks it gently but firmly. Ms. Karen, your daughter recorded this because she was afraid. Karen shakes her head weakly. No. She didn't mean she wouldn't. She's a child. Judy's voice softens. Children tell the truth, adults hide. Karen's entire world shifts behind her eyes, regret, terror, shame blending into something painfully human. Then the courtroom door opens with a small click. The bailiff clears his throat. "Your Honor, the daughter's here." Karen turns, dread swallowing her whole, because standing in the doorway, trembling but determined, is Lily. Lily stands frozen in the doorway, small, trembling, clutching her backpack strap like it's the last piece of solid ground she has left. The courtroom doesn't breathe. Karen doesn't blink. Judge Judy simply watches, waiting. The bailiff escorts Lily forward gently, sensing her unease. She walks with slow, hesitant steps, each one landing like a soft echo of truth Karen has tried to outrun. The gallery leans in, not out of curiosity, but because the weight of Lily's presence feels like a storm about to break open the entire case. Karen rises despite herself. "Lily, sweetheart, why are you here?" Her voice isn't sharp now, not arrogant, just shaken, fragile. Lily doesn't look at her mother. Her eyes stay locked on the floor as she approaches the witness stand. It takes her 3 tries to climb into the chair, her limbs stiff with nerves. Judge Judy softens just slightly. "Take your time, young lady." Lily nods, swallowing hard. Her hands tremble as she's sworn in. The moment she raises her right hand, Karen presses her knuckles to her lips, as if holding back everything she wants to scream. Judy folds her hands. "Lily, we saw the video you recorded. Can you tell the court why you filmed your mother that day?" Lily's voice emerges in a whisper so delicate it barely carries. "Because I was scared." Karen jolts back as if struck. "Scared? Of what?" "Honey, I was trying to—" Judy raises a hand. "Ms. Karen, not a word." Karen sinks into her seat, trembling. Lily continues, still staring down. "Mom wasn't okay. She was yelling at everyone, at the neighbors, at me, at Dad. She said people needed to respect her authority. But there wasn't any authority." Her voice cracks on the last word. Greg wipes his eyes. Karen whispers, "Lily, please look at me. Please." But Lily doesn't. She faces Judge Judy instead. "I filmed her because I thought if someone saw what was happening, they could help her. Because she wouldn't listen to me, or Dad, or anyone." The courtroom feels like it's holding a collective breath underwater. Judy leans forward. "Did your mother ever ask you to record Mia?" "No," Lily says quickly. "I did it on my own. I sent it because I didn't know what else to do." Karen finally breaks. Tears spill over, quick and hot. She covers her face, the sound of her breath ragged. "Lily, baby, you think I'm a monster?" Lily looks at her mother for the first time. "No," she says softly. "I think you're hurting, but you hurt us too." The honesty slices clean through whatever armor Karen has left. Judy nods slowly, solemnly. "Thank you, Lily. That took courage." She glances at Karen. The judgment in her eyes is tempered now, not by forgiveness, but by understanding the human unraveling beneath the chaos. Mia looks at Lily with compassion, her own anger softened by what she's witnessed. But Judge Judy isn't finished. She lifts a single sheet of paper, the report tied to the anonymous evidence submission. "Lily," she says, "you didn't just record the video, you also included a note." Lily's face goes pale. Karen sits up sharply. "What note?" Judy reads the first line aloud. "She won't stop until someone makes her." Karen gasps, because Lily didn't write those words out of spite, but out of fear. "If you were Lily, would you expose your own parent to stop the harm, or stay silent to protect them?" Lily's note still hangs in the air like smoke after a struck match. Karen's tear-streaked face is frozen in disbelief. Judge Judy folds the paper slowly, delicately, because she knows the next words could reshape everything. Judy leans toward the young girl. "Lily, why did you write that your mother wouldn't stop?" Lily swallows. "Because she didn't." Her feet swing nervously beneath the chair, the motion almost childlike, yet her voice carries a gravity far beyond her age. She kept saying she had to fix the neighborhood, that people didn't respect her, that they were ignoring her on purpose. Karen shakes her head, tears falling freely now. "I didn't, Lily, I wasn't ignoring you. Lily's voice rises before she can stop it. You ignored everyone. You yelled at me for leaving my shoes out. You yelled at Dad for leaving a cup in the sink. You yelled at the neighbor's kids for playing outside too loud. Her voice cracks. You yelled so much I started sleeping with my door locked. Karen covers her mouth, sobbing silently. Greg closes his eyes, pain etched across his entire body. Judge Judy's voice softens. Lily, that must have been very hard. It was, Lily whispers. She twirls a loose thread on her sleeve, grounding herself. Mom wasn't like that before. She used to be fun. We used to paint rocks and put them in the garden. She used to laugh. The thread snaps in her fingers. But then she started saying no one respected her, that she had to prove she could run things. Judy nods. And that's when she started making the notices? Lily nods back. Yes, she said if she could show the neighborhood she was a leader, then... She looks down. Then Dad wouldn't leave. A hush falls so deep that even the air seems to stop moving. Greg's face crumples. Lily, you shouldn't have known about that. I heard you two fighting, Lily replies quietly. Mom said she needed people to listen to her, that she was nothing without authority. Karen sobs openly now. Lily, I never wanted you to feel that way. Lily's eyes shimmer. I know, but you didn't see how scary you got. She takes a shaky breath. So I recorded the video, not to hurt you, not to help Mia. I sent it because I thought, if someone like a judge saw it, maybe they could make you stop. Judy watches her carefully, the weight of 1,000 human stories reflected in her gaze. Lily, that took a lot of courage. You told the truth when the truth was the hardest thing to carry. Lily nods, but the smallest tremor betrays the enormity of what she's done. Karen reaches out an unsteady hand. Sweetheart, did you really think I wouldn't stop on my own? Lily's lower lip trembles. I hoped you would, but every day it got worse. And the day with Mia, she falters. That wasn't the worst of it. The courtroom shifts, every person leaning closer, instinctively sensing the edge of something massive. Judge Judy straightens. Lily, are you saying there's more we need to see? Lily hesitates. Her eyes dart to her dad, then back to the judge. Yes, a single word. Small, but devastating. Karen looks like the floor has dropped out beneath her. Lily, no, please. Lily wipes her eyes. Mom, I'm sorry, but they need to see the last video. The bailiff takes a USB drive from Lily's shaking hand. She whispers, barely audible. This one. I never wanted anyone to see. The bailiff plugs in the USB, and the courtroom lights dim just enough for the monitor's glow to dominate the room. Karen's hands grip the table so tightly her fingernails blanch. She already knows this video isn't about Mia, it's about her. The screen flickers. No sidewalk, no neighbors, no confrontation, just darkness. Then a click. Lights snap on inside a living room, Karen's living room. The camera shakes as Lily sets it down behind a vase, half hidden but pointed toward the center of the room. Judy leans forward. The gallery leans forward. Karen squeezes her eyes shut. A door slams in the footage. Karen enters the frame. But she's not the Karen sitting in the courtroom. This version is unraveling. Her hair is disheveled, makeup streaked, movements erratic. She paces the room like a caged animal, muttering under her breath. Don't respect me. Nobody respects me. They'll listen. They have to listen. Karen in the courtroom whispers, turn it off. Please turn it off. Judy does not move. On screen, Karen grabs a stack of printed notices from the dining table, dozens of them. They think they can ignore me? Me? I make the rules. I decide what's acceptable. I will fix this neighborhood. She slams them down, pages scattering like panicked birds. Then she turns to a second pile, blank forms waiting to be forged. Lily can be heard quietly from behind the camera. Mom, please stop. On screen, Karen whirls toward the voice. Her eyes are wild, unrecognizable. Stop? Stop? If I stop, everything falls apart. Don't you get it, Lily? If I don't make them follow the rules, then I'm nothing. The real Karen breaks into silent sobs. Greg looks down, jaw trembling. On the screen, Karen drops into a chair. She buries her face in her hands, shoulders shaking. Then she whispers something the microphone barely catches. I can't lose everything. Not again. Judy's expression shifts, slightly, almost imperceptibly, but enough. Karen lifts her head in the video, mascara streaked, voice splintered. If he leaves me, if the neighbors laugh, if no one takes me seriously, she chokes on air. I am nothing. The courtroom is stone silent. On screen, Karen stands abruptly, grabs a pen, and slashes a forged signature, Greg's, onto the bottom of a notice. Now they'll listen, she says. They have to. The video cuts abruptly when Lily rushes forward and snatches the camera away. The monitor goes black. The silence afterward feels holy, heavy and impossible to break. Karen sobs openly, head bowed, hands trembling over her face. Judge Judy finally speaks, her voice a controlled whisper of steel and sorrow. Ms. Karen, that wasn't anger. That wasn't arrogance. That was fear. Karen looks up through tears, eyes hollow. I didn't mean for any of this. I just didn't want to disappear. Greg covers his mouth. Mia blinks back tears. Judy studies Karen carefully, compassion flickering behind her stern exterior. Ms. Karen, she says quietly, what exactly were you so afraid of losing? Karen's breath stutters, because the truth is about to break through her last remaining defense. Karen closes her eyes and whispers, barely audible. Everything. I was afraid of losing him. And the courtroom realizes this was never about rules. It was about a woman terrified of being left behind. Karen's whispered, I was afraid of losing him, hangs in the air like a confession torn from someplace raw and unguarded. The courtroom, moments ago alive with tension, now feels like a sanctuary where secrets finally dare to surface. Karen's shoulders slump, as if the weight she's carried for years has finally become too heavy to hide. The arrogance, the armor, crumbles completely. What remains is a woman small in her own skin, trembling under the spotlight of truth she never meant to reveal. Judge Judy's voice softens but remains steady. Ms. Karen, explain what you mean. Karen swallows hard. Her fingers twist the edge of her sleeve, the gesture strangely childlike. Greg was drifting. We were barely speaking. Every night felt like walking on a cliff. She wipes her face with the back of her hand. He told me I wasn't the woman he married, told me I was pushing him away. Greg bows his head. The guilt burns through the air. Karen continues, voice cracking. I didn't know how to fix it. I didn't know how to fix me. I felt like I was fading, like no one saw me anymore. She meets Judy's eyes with hollow honesty. So I created something I could control, somewhere my voice mattered, somewhere I couldn't be ignored. Mia watches her, sadness softening her expression. She's no longer seeing the tyrant who patrolled her yard. She's seeing the woman broken beneath. Karen winces. But the more I tried to hold on, the more everything slipped away. Lily stopped talking to me. Greg stopped coming home before dark. The neighbors avoided me. Every time someone didn't listen, I tightened the rules. Forced order where there wasn't any. Her grip tightens until her knuckles blanch. I thought if I could just make one thing stay the way I wanted, everything else would stop falling apart. Judge Judy nods once, slowly. Fear can make people do desperate, destructive things, but it doesn't excuse the harm. Karen nods back, tears flowing freely. I know. She presses her palms into her eyes. I just didn't want to lose the last pieces of the life I thought I had. I didn't want to be the woman people whisper about, the one who failed. Her voice drops into a whisper. I didn't want to be alone. Greg steps forward slightly, voice gentle. Karen, you were never alone. But you pushed us so far away, we didn't know how to come back. She looks at him, really looks at him, for the first time all day. The exhaustion, the heartbreak. The love that still lingers but is buried beneath layers of hurt. I'm sorry, she chokes. I'm so sorry. Her words hang heavy, trembling with sincerity. Mia clears her throat. I didn't want to hurt you, Karen. I just wanted you to stop. You were scaring me. And my daughter. Karen nods, shame folding her shoulders inward. I know. I became someone I don't recognize, and someone I don't want to be anymore. Judge Judy absorbs all of it. The unraveling, the regret, the humanity struggling to breathe under layers of fear and ego. She inhales deeply, eyes narrowing with decisive clarity. Ms. Karen, she says, voice both stern and compassionate, confession is the first step, but responsibility comes next. Karen's breath trembles. I'm ready. Judge Judy glances at the stack of forged notices, at the photos, at the broken family before her. Then she folds her hands and says, "Then let's begin." Judge Judy's words, "Then let's begin," settle over the courtroom like a slowly descending curtain. The air feels heavier now, not with anger, but with consequence. Judge Judy straightens in her chair, her posture crisp, authoritative, immovable. The compassion she allowed moments ago draws back behind the familiar iron of her judicial presence. Karen senses the shift immediately. Her breathing steadies, as if bracing for impact. "Ms. Karen," Judy begins, "you have explained why you acted as you did. Now we must address the damage those actions caused." She picks up the first forged notice, flipping it between her fingers. "These documents were left on Mia's property. Their purpose was intimidation. You may not have intended emotional destruction, but it happened nonetheless." Karen nods shakily. "I understand." Mia watches quietly, hands folded, waiting, not for punishment, but for resolution. Judy continues, voice steady and controlled. "First, restitution. Ms. Mia, you will be reimbursed for any false fines, property repairs, and tampered mail. I estimate the immediate financial impact to be," she glances at the paperwork, "just under $800. Karen exhales slowly, almost relieved. She nods again. "I'll pay it." "We're not finished," Judy says calmly. Karen freezes. Judy lifts the stack of photographs, the proof of relentless intrusion. Your behavior escalated into trespassing, surveillance, and repeated harassment. Each instance carries weight, emotional weight, legal weight. Karen's eyes flicker to Lily. Shame deepens. "Therefore," Judy continues, "you will also compensate Mia for emotional distress and repeated interference with peaceful enjoyment of her home." Mia doesn't gloat. She simply closes her eyes, a long overdue breath leaving her chest. Karen swallows. "How much?" Judy's gaze pierces through her. $2,000. Karen's expression falters, but she nods again, slow, trembling. "Okay, I'll pay that too." She isn't arguing anymore. She's accepting. Greg steps forward slightly, hand lifting as if to help. "Your Honor, I can—" "No," Karen interrupts softly but firmly. "I'll do it. I caused this. I'll handle it." The courtroom takes note. Accountability isn't just being given, it's being claimed. Judy sets down the stack of evidence. Next, a no-contact directive. You will not approach, confront, or communicate with Ms. Mia or her family in any capacity. Any violation will be reported immediately. Karen nods. "I understand." Judy's tone softens, just slightly. "This isn't just to protect Ms. Mia. It's to protect you from continuing a spiral that harmed everyone in its path." Karen wipes her cheeks. Lily watches her mother with something between heartbreak and cautious hope. "And finally," Judy says, "you will seek counseling. This court strongly recommends a licensed therapist to help you navigate the emotional instability we've seen evidence of today." Karen bites her trembling lip. "Yes, Your Honor." Judy sits back, taking in the fractured family, the wounded neighbor, the honest child who held everything together long enough to break the cycle. Mia clears her throat gently. "Your Honor, may I say something?" Judy nods. Mia turns to Karen. "I don't want revenge. I just wanted my home back, my peace back." Karen's eyes shine with remorse. "I'm doing this to move forward," Mia adds. "Not to punish you forever." Karen bows her head, deeply. "Thank you." Karen lifts her gaze, eyes trembling. "There's one more thing I need to say to her." She turns toward Mia, and the courtroom braces for the apology years overdue. Karen turns toward Mia slowly, like someone approaching the edge of a cliff she spent years pretending wasn't there. Her voice wavers on the first breath, and for the first time today, the courtroom feels less like a battleground and more like the quiet before a long overdue surrender. Karen stands, not abruptly, not defiantly, but gently, as though she's afraid the moment might shatter if she moves too fast. Her hands tremble at her sides. She looks at Mia the way someone looks at a person they've wronged so deeply they don't know where forgiveness could even begin. "Mia," Karen starts, voice cracking on the single syllable. I don't deserve your attention, but I need to say this. Mia lifts her gaze, guarded but open enough to listen. Karen swallows hard. I'm sorry, truly, for the notices, for the trespassing, for the harassment, for everything. Her voice breaks again. You didn't do anything to deserve what I put you through. I didn't know how to cope with my life falling apart, and instead of fixing myself, I tried to control everyone else. She shakes her head, tears slipping down her cheeks. You became the target because you didn't give me the reaction I wanted. You didn't fear me. You didn't bend. And I punished you for being stronger than I felt. The gallery shifts. Some take a slow breath, others quietly wipe their eyes. Mia's expression softens into something tender, pained. She steps forward just enough to close the emotional distance. Karen, I don't hate you. I never did. Karen's eyes widen as if she didn't expect mercy. Mia continues gently. I was scared, for my daughter, for my home. But I wasn't your enemy. I just wanted to be left alone. That's all. Karen nods rapidly, as though trying to anchor herself to those words. I know, and I promise, you'll never have to deal with me like that again. Lily watches her mother with tears trembling at the edges of her eyes. Less fear now, more hope. Karen looks toward her daughter. Her breath hitches. Lily, I'm so sorry I made you feel unsafe. I never wanted you to see me like that, or be afraid of me. Lily's voice is small but honest. I just wanted my mom back. Karen's heartbreak is audible. I'm trying, sweetheart. I really am. The moment is fragile, suspended, real. Greg watches them both, his expression layered, hurt, relief, love, uncertainty. For the first time in a long time, he sees his wife without the armor she weaponized for years. Judge Judy lets the silence breathe, then she clears her throat, softly, but with purpose. Ms. Karen, she says, your apology is noted. It does not erase the harm, but it is a step toward healing. Karen nods, wiping her eyes. Judy continues, voice firm, gathering the room's attention. And now, it's time for this court to make its final ruling. Karen inhales sharply. Greg steadies himself. Mia folds her hands. Lily squeezes the ends of her sleeves. The entire courtroom freezes, balanced on the knife's edge of resolution. Judge Judy lifts her gavel, the wood gleaming under the courtroom lights. Here, she says, voice crisp and decisive, is my final decision. At this moment, what does real justice look like to you? Mercy? Consequence? Something in between? The gavel rests in Judge Judy's hand, inches above the bench. The courtroom holds its breath, suspended between consequence and closure. Karen clutches the edge of the table. Mia stands steady. Lily squeezes Greg's hand. Everything, every lie, every truth, every fracture has led to this one moment. Judge Judy lowers the gavel, not striking it yet, but letting it hover with solemn purpose. This case, she begins, her voice carrying both gravity and clarity, has exposed a great deal more than a neighborhood dispute. It revealed fear, desperation, pain, but also honesty, courage, and the possibility of change. Her gaze settles directly on Karen. Ms. Karen, you created authority where none existed. You enforced rules that were never real. You trespassed, intimidated, surveilled, and manipulated your neighbors. The emotional toll you inflicted cannot be minimized. Karen bows her head. Her tears drip silently onto the table. But, Judy continues, this court has also witnessed something we rarely see. Genuine accountability. You have taken responsibility. You have apologized without excuses. And you have confronted truths most people would run from. The glare in the courtroom lights softens, falling across Karen like a hesitant forgiveness. As such, Judy says, my ruling reflects not only consequence, but the opportunity for repair. Karen looks up, eyes hollow, afraid, but listening. First, restitution to Ms. Mia stands at $2,800. This covers damages, emotional distress, and unauthorized interference. Payment is to be made in full within 60 days. Karen nods immediately. Yes, Your Honor. Second, Judy continues, a strict no-contact order is imposed. You're not to approach, harass, or communicate with Ms. Mia or her family in any way for the next 12 months. Another nod. Understood. Third, and most importantly, you will begin court-mandated counseling within the next 2 weeks, not as punishment, but as a lifeline. You cannot rebuild your life, your marriage, or your relationship with your daughter without professional support. Karen's voice breaks. I will, I promise. Judge Judy turns to Mia. Ms. Mia, your strength and clarity throughout this ordeal have been commendable. Your willingness to stand firm contributed to the truth coming to light. Mia nods, her relief quiet but profound. Judy shifts her gaze to Lily. And you, young lady, you showed extraordinary bravery. You did what many adults would not. You protected your family, even when it meant exposing painful truths. Lily ducks her head shyly as Greg squeezes her shoulder. Finally, Judy returns to Karen, meeting her eyes without flinching. This case is resolved, she says, but your work is not over. The path ahead will be difficult, but it is not impossible. Karen inhales slowly, letting the words settle inside her like a fragile seed of hope. She turns to Mia and whispers, "Thank you for letting me try again." Mia offers a small, gentle nod. Greg places his hand over Karen's. Lily watches, cautious, but with the first flicker of belief that her mother might truly change. Judge Judy lifts her gavel one last time. Let this serve as a reminder to everyone in this room. Power built on fear collapses, but truth, spoken bravely, can rebuild what's broken. The gavel falls, case closed, and for the first time in a long time, the silence that follows is healing.